Welcome to the Brooke Chapel. Did you know that in this beautiful chapel there are treasures such as paintings, but in particular of stained glass windows? Please join me for a walk down the nave into the apse where we'll start our tour. So as we come into the apse, we're going to be looking at the three windows that you see in front of you, and we will start with the one on the left. This window here was given in honor of Kate Philpott, the sister of Canon Ogilvy. It is of Mary of Bethany at the feet of Jesus, who came to sit at Jesus' feet to rub them with oil. And Martha from the kitchen said, "Mary, you need to come and help me prepare the meal." And Jesus said to her, No, leave her where she is. She's in her rightful place. And there you can see this magnificent window that was put here in 1881 when the chapel was constructed. We now move to the one in the center of the apse. This is the Good Shepherd in honor of Bishop Gray. It was put here by the bishop at the time, Bishop West Jones. And as you can see, Christ the Good Shepherd holding the lamb with sheep at his feet. The one that you see here on the right is in honor of Sophie Gray, the wife of Robert Gray. The person to the right of Jesus is Mary Magdalene. She was at his crucifixion, she was at his entombment, and she was also at his resurrection. So from here I'd like to show you some of the other windows here in the chapel. What we have in the four windows that we will be discussing are the four writers of the Gospels. Here on the left is Saint Matthew, the scribe, and you'll see in the medallion the depiction of Saint Matthew. Then you will see Saint Mark with a depiction of the Lion of Saint Mark. And from here we go to the two windows, the one depicting Saint John with the eagle and Saint Luke with the bull. Now, the ones on the left are in commemoration of two boys who were at bishops. The first is in memory of Charles George Henry Piers, and that stained glass window was placed there by his parents in his honor and in his memory. The other is of a young man who attended bishops. His name was Murrell Ebden. His father was the doctor to Bishop Gray, and his father, Dr. Ebden, also served on the council at bishops. The young Murrell died fighting in a war in the Basotho Wars of the 1880s. We now go to two windows commemorating the members of staff. The one window, that is the window depicting St. Mark, is in honor of the Reverend Henry Rattle. And the other, depicting St. Luke, is in honor of O.H. Hogarth, who was a classics master here at Bishops. In fact, he was a professor of classics when Bishops at that time was still a university. We now move further down to look at a few more of these windows. This window on my left was placed here in honor of a teacher at Bishops who came here in 1955 until 1991 by the name of Mr. Charles Patrick Curry. Now I remember Mr. Curry. He was my vice principal when I first came to Bishops, and his family has put this window into the chapel in his memory, depicting St. Francis. In the second year of his tenure as a teacher here, he introduced the adventure course. That happened in 1956, and of course today we know that as the epic hike. Mr. Curry loved the outdoors, and so is it not just so fitting for us to have this window of St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals. One can see how he's holding a bird and how the deer and the fox are at his feet. Which brings me to the two windows that you see on your left in honor of young men of bishops who fought in wars in southern Africa in the late 19th century. The one is depicting St. George and the other St. Longinus, St. Longine. I just like to mention something about St. George. It is in effect Bishop's patron saint, St. George slaying the dragon, as you can see depicted in the window, and also at the entrance of the War Memorial Chapel, St. George slaying the dragon, and the flag of St. George. From here, we're going to go to the last two windows in the nave of the chapel. On the left, we have the window of the Canaanite woman, dressed in the green, who is being healed. And this is an interesting story. It is actually Mary Jenkins. You can see the face of Mary Jenkins, the wife of one of the principals of bishops, Canon Owen Jenkins. This beautiful window in commemoration of her. Here we have the woman at the well, and she's come to fetch water. And Jesus says to her, "My gift is living water." And there we have this beautiful depiction of this window with the beautiful blue in the sky going up to Jerusalem. This is a gift by the 2008 Matrix. I just think it's such a wonderful tribute to them to give a window to this beautiful chapel.
Due to the munificence of ODs from around the world, parents, teachers and donors, we were able to fill the 3 windows that were not stained glass yet. And here, on my left, is one of the stained glass windows of the 3 new ones that have been put into this chapel. We have the first of those windows, St. Clare of Assisi. This one is in honor of Koliswa Christina Guavu, a much-loved teacher here at Bishops. She taught isiXhosa. Not only was she a great teacher, but she was also a mother to many of the boys who were studying here at the time. So to have the window in honor of Koliswa as St. Clare of Assisi, with the lilies at her feet, because according to her daughter Nomfundo, Koliswa loved lilies. Here we have this window of St. Clare, who was so kind to people around her, that it is so apt that we have this window here today. The next window is the one in honor of Mama Leah Tutu. It is depicted as Ruth, a woman of great courage, and Mama Leah Tutu is such a person to us today, a woman who shows the most amazing courage. It is also interesting to note the emblem at the feet of Mama Leah. This is of a stag. In fact, our benefactrix, Baroness Angela Burdett Coates, endowed Bishop Gray when he came to the Cape with a vast amount of funds to establish the Anglican Church here at the southern tip of Africa. And the stag is part of the coat of arms of the family of Angela Burdett Coates. Here we have a depiction of the prophet Isaiah. And God is speaking to Isaiah so that Isaiah can send the message to his people. And therefore, this window is in celebration of the life and work of Archbishop Desmond Mapilo Tutu. It is so appropriate that this window is depicted as such for someone as courageous as Archbishop Tutu, because he stood for so much, exercised so much wisdom, and had so much understanding. And so, this beautiful depiction in celebration of the life and work of Archbishop Tutu.
So as we end our tour, I'd like to share 2 points with you. The first is that when we look at these windows, they are of people of the past. But more than that, they are of persons who have gone on before us and are being commemorated by their families or by the school or by their former pupils. And this for me is the deep spiritual meaning of these windows. Yes, what they look like and how they're depicted, but also what's behind them. Now you know.